Welcome to the Sacred Nature Full Moon Circle. My name is Radhia. We're going to be talking about sacred nature, and it just so happens that I came back from a camping trip in the North Carolina mountains of the Appalachians. And my husband set a fire for me and then went to take photographs of the sunset. As I'm sitting at the fire, I keep smelling perfume, and I can't figure out why. And so I determined to ask my husband when he comes back what he put in the fire to make it smell so good. He came back and he said I didn't put anything in the fire. Then I realized that I could smell this smell everywhere I went. And I even checked my deodorant. I'm like, what is this smell? And then it occurred to me this city girl who had been disconnected from the sacred nature was smelling mountain laurel blooming on the side of this mountain. When we're disconnected from nature, we have a disconnection with a part of ourselves. And so tonight, as we focus on the sacred nature full moon circle, let us try to reconnect and rekindle and never forget the smell of mountain laurel. It is my pleasure and honor to now introduce Reverend Selena Fox.
Thank you, Reverend Dia, and thanks to everyone that is joining us live and all of you who will tune in later. We keep all of our full moon circle ceremonies archived at the Circle Sanctuary YouTube site, and it's so good to have you all here. I invite you to share in the comments where you're watching from. And if you have a particular name of the divine connected with the moon in your own tradition, I invite you to share that. I look forward to this time together where we have people from the Circle Sanctuary community from many paths and many places sharing about sacred nature. Welcome all. And I invite Melissa to share some announcements.
Greetings and welcome to our Sacred Nature Full Moon Circle broadcast. I'm Melissa, and on behalf of all of the Circle Sanctuary volunteers with us tonight, thank you for joining us. You are invited to join other Circle volunteers in person this Saturday, July 12th, on Circle Sanctuary's land to prepare for Harvesting Health and Happiness, our Green Spirit 2025 festival, which will be held the weekend of August 1st through the 3rd. Registration is now open. Please register at circlesanctuary.org for both the Volunteer Day and Green Spirit. Green Faith Circle is now meeting at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the fourth Saturday of every month. Registration is also now open for our Sacred Fire Circle to be held over Labor Day weekend, August 28th through September 1st. Please see our website for more details and to register soon. You can find Circle podcasts throughout the month on Facebook and previous Full Moon Circle broadcasts on YouTube at circlesanctuary.org. To find out more about our in-person and other online activities and to become a member or make a donation to show your support, please visit our website. Our next Full Moon Circle live broadcast will be about plant allies on Saturday, August 9th. We hope to see you then. Steve will now cast our ritual circle.
Greetings all. Yes, let us cast this circle with the elements of the glories of summer. First, let us welcome the element of air, the warm winds that greet us in summer. And then let us welcome in the element of fire, the heat from the sun and the heat from the bonfires. And welcome the element of west, of water, of the warm springs, of the warm rains. And the element of north, the bountiful earth that supports us all. Blessed be. And now we're going to go to Richard for the moonfire kindling.
Thank you, Steve, for casting our ritual circle. I am Richard. I am doing this podcast from my home in Madison, Wisconsin, USA. This moon cycle has been designated Sacred Nature Full Moon. Everything in nature is sacred to us pagans. We can find spiritual lessons in every detail. Fire is part of nature, and I find a lot of my inner spiritual power in fire. I light this ecologically friendly beeswax candle to represent the bonfires we pagans light in the center of our ritual circles. I celebrate fire in all of its forms, from a small candle to a large bonfire. So mote it be. Up next is Dia to have us all light our individual candles.
Thank you, Richard. As everyone lights your individual candle, imagine that we have all lit it from the sacred moonfire kindling that Richard has just done. Imagine that it is all connected and that our individual candles come together and blaze as a bonfire. We want to thank all of our presenters tonight, and we want to thank you for joining us. And now we will attune to the moon with Reverend Selena Fox.
We are gathered here from many places and many ways of connecting with the moon. I invite you, as I do a chant, to connect with the moon in your own way, to draw that moon down into our sacred circle. Full moon, bright moon, magic moon, we attune, we commune. Full moon, bright moon, magic moon, we attune, we commune. Full moon, full moon, full moon. Bright moon, full moon, magic moon, we call to you, we honor you. Come, be in us, around us, in this sacred circle. Guide our workings and deepen our connection with lunar cycles as part of the rhythms of sacred nature. Sacred nature is important for people across the ages and across cultures. Years ago, as I started working with Circle Sanctuary, I created something that I call a nature ritual. And I do an excerpt tonight as we begin our exploration of sacred nature, the name that we have given this full moon circle. Journey into nature, journey into self, journey into divine interconnectedness. Find a place in nature that feels special to you. Find a place where you can be with plants, creatures, and the elements. Journey there to commune with nature and the natural world here on planet Earth. Journey there to shift your focus from being human-centric to being nature-aware. Journey there to remind yourself that you are part of the whole of nature. Journey there to nurture your inner spirit, and to strengthen your relationships with other life forms and the biosphere. Pay attention to sound. Listen to the wind, to the birds, to the other sounds of nature around you. Pay attention to sights. See the beauty of nature in the shapes, colors, and patterns of life forms around you. Feel nature's rhythms. Smell, taste, touch nature. Expand your awareness of your physical senses. Attune and commune with your sixth sense, your intuition, where there is neither space nor time, only being in the eternal now. Connect with wisdom, wisdom that is within you and around you in all of nature. Connect with spirit that is part of self and more than self. Connect with nature spirituality. Connect with the circle of nature of which we are all part. So be it. Aho, amen, ashe, namaste, salam, shalom, blessed be. And I invite Amy to share some reflections.
Hello, I'm Amy Dove, or Dove Woman, coming from St. Louis, Missouri, the unceded territory of the Osage and Cahokia. I'm going to read a story. This is called Josephine Please, The Garden Connection. Josephine was a little girl with a big imagination. In fact, her imagination was so big that it got her into quite a bit of trouble, especially with her mother, who really only wanted what was best for her. But Josephine's wild ideas of what was best usually ended with sunburnt skin and mud pies, where her mother's ideas were much less, well, dirty. Josephine's spirit had nearly been broken because of these differences about what was best when she was asked to help an older woman in the neighborhood after school. The hope was to teach Josephine some manners, but teaching manners was the farthest thing from the woman's mind. Instead, Charlotte bid the girl to keep her wildness. Charlotte has become a good friend, tea hostess, and teacher of things wild and yet unknown. Today will be an especially good day because they will be in Charlotte's beautiful garden, and they will listen. After school, Josephine skipped down the sidewalk on her way to Charlotte's little house. She thought of the garden, the spot of sanctuary where all life breathed, grew, played, and worked together. Along the way, she winked at the mischievous squirrels as they chattered from the trees. Along the way, she made sure to set a skipping foot into any available rain puddles. Along the way, she practiced being a wild woman. As soon as Josephine the Wild pushed through the overgrown, blooming fence at Charlotte's little yellow house, the woman met her. "Come in, girl, we have work to do." They journeyed quickly through the living space, stacked with books of all shapes and sizes, and into the kitchen. Charlotte had made them a pitcher of cold, honey-sweetened chlorophyll tea. It was green. "Let's take this into the garden and sit by the pond," Charlotte gestured to the green concoction in the pitcher and a couple of thick ball jar glasses. Josephine obediently took the collection and followed the little woman into the garden. There they lay a quilted cotton blanket on the ground and sat to have their tea. Charlotte poured a bit of tea first onto the earth and spoke a word that Josephine didn't understand. The little woman then poured glasses of the tea for each of the two human recipients. "Josephine, please, taste this tea. Really taste it. Let it sit in your mouth and soak into your tongue. This is the green our plant can make. It is sugar that sustains life. It is sweetened with honey that is made from pollen collected by our beekin to feed their young. All of this melted into water with a blessing for health and an ask for aid with our listening today. Josephine did as she was told. The chlorophyll tea was lovely. If green had a taste, this was it. The girl was glad to know the whole story where this treat came from instead of just being told to eat it because it was good for her. She looked up to meet Charlotte's gaze. "What do you think?" the little woman asked. Josephine told her it tasted green. "Good. Water is life. Thank you, water." "Thank you, water," Josephine repeated. "Now, Josephine, please close your eyes and listen. First, listen to your own heart." This was not so easy. There were so many more interesting things to listen to here in the beautiful garden. Josephine heard the bees and thanked them in her mind for the honey that was in her tea. Josephine heard the breeze move through the flowers and berries and smelled their delightful gifts of aroma. Thank you, flowers. Thank you, berries. Finally, Josephine could feel her own heart pulsing blood through her strong body. Thank you, heart. Do you hear it, child? Charlotte's voice cut through the girl's inner song of thanks. Yes, I hear it. Good. Now reach out and notice the heartbeat of those beings all around you, and mostly that of the earth. She has her own heartbeat, and once you hear it, you will never be without comfort. Josephine, please understand that our tea is a gift of the earth. It helps us to match the heartbeat of the earth and all of our family here in the garden. Know that we are children of the earth, but we are not only children. Our mother has many children, and they were all here first. We as humans are the youngest. We recognize, thank, and learn from those who have gone before us. Josephine, please listen to the voices of your kinsfolk, the wind, plant, fruit, bee. What do they say? What sounds do they make? Can you speak their language back to them? Open your heart and mouth and find out. What is the sound tomato plant makes as the breeze moves through her? Josephine mimicked the sound of grateful leaves. Excellent. Now when you want to say thank you to Tomato, make that same sound for her, and she will understand. Josephine was skeptical. Josephine, please, understand that every part of our world is alive in their way. We are all connected. Every being has a role in the Via Creativa, the way of creation. I see you thanking bees and flowers. It isn't much of a step to know that they hear you and say you're welcome. Would they do this anyway? Maybe, but it's nice to have someone say thank you, isn't it? Josephine and Charlotte continued the lesson of listening and learning the language of Thanksgiving until the sun was setting and the shadows grew long. The night bird told her to get home, her mother was waiting. Along the way, Josephine heard differently and knew her world had changed again. Thank you, Josephine used the word Charlotte had used earlier. It was the sound of water on the earth.
Thank you, Amy Dove. I'm going to read the poem A Summer's Day by Mary Oliver. I want to give a little context beforehand, which I think will help pull meaning out of it. The most famous line of this poem are the last two, and they're taped to mirrors, pinned to corkboards, and framed in embroidery in many homes. And yes, they are lines worth remembering. But the heart of the poem is a couple of lines earlier. Tell me, what else should I have done? What else, that is, besides falling down in the grass, being idle and blessed, strolling through the fields all day? At its heart, this poem is a little revolution, a provocative question mark besides the conventional answers to the query, what makes for a day well lived? How should I spend this summer's day? And by this summer's day, I mean the one we're in right now and the one we'll live tomorrow. A Summer's Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else is it should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And now Marin and the Ode to the Forest.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. That was lovely. I am Marin King, and I'm coming to you from my home here in North Central Florida, USA. This song, called Ode to the Forest, was written during the pandemic, and it's a love song to the woods and the wild areas of our world, to the creatures who inhabit those places, and to the people of my community who were unable to gather together under the changing moon. It's a song of hope and connection through both sunshine and storm. Yeah, it's on days like this, when the sun is shining bright on the honeysuckles and the bees are buzzing bloom to bloom. Butterflies are flitting flower to flower too. And the dragonflies dancing stir my soul and make me long for you. Well, it's on nights like this, when the rain is pouring off of the roof in rivulets of liquid silver, drenching all the earth until it's thick and slick, and the smell on the wind stirs my soul and makes me long for you. In the depth of the night, by the light of the new moon, I am walking in magic, sacred spaces cleansed anew, for my ocean mother and my father of the woods. I'll return to you soon, the circle always brings me back to you. During the forced isolation of the pandemic, I spent time in the backyard of my home, surrounded by the trees and flowering bushes, feeding the birds and squirrels, and digging my roots deep into the soil as I looked forward to the day that we could all be together again in our beloved sacred nature. Yes, it's on days like this, when the birds are calling out to each other, singing of those long forgotten dreams, future loves and the gifts we all hold in our hands. And life's song rising up fills my soul and makes me long for you. Yes, it's on nights like this, when the energy is snapping and crackling along the lines of connection, and we're one although we're miles and miles apart. We all thrive with the vibe, it stirs our soul and makes us long for you. In the depth of the night, by the light of the full moon, we are working in wonder, weaving webs of light and sound for our mothers and fathers and our children of the wild. We'll return to each other, loves, the circle always brings us back to you. As we celebrate and honor together the full moon, the changing moon, our world, and the sacredness of nature itself here this evening, may we continue to do the magical and mundane work, in person and such as we are now, of nurturing and protecting the flora and the fauna, the lands and the seas, and all the wild and wonderful places of our beloved earth. And now, Here is Nancy with a meditation for us.
Happy full moon. My name is Nancy Melito, and I am coming to you from my home in Fairfax County, Northern Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., on the unceded territory of the Monacan Indian Nation. We pagans are nature lovers. Nature is sacred. We all know that. But we have a romantic notion that nature means some wild, untouched area, perhaps a forest, a waterfall, or a mountain. But how often are such places available to the majority of us? We live in cities, suburbs, exurbs. We work inside, in offices, outside, in scorching and freezing weather in a concrete jungle. We take subways and highways and drive to exercise. Shopping not with the people who actually grow our food and make those things we wish to buy, but with phones and plastic cards in giant artificial environments, or even in small local businesses that exist inside human-made buildings. How are so many of us everyday pagans supposed to find nature when we need nature to nurture us? Well, think about it. All of nature runs through all of this planet and everything that exists above, on, and below it. Earth herself, Gaia, is the cradle of those elements we cherish so much. Air, fire, water, earth, spirit, aren't they literally part of each and every one of us? Don't they make up our very bodies? Everything we see, everything we experience comes from nature. We touch, we see, we take in, and yes, even eliminate nature. The air we breathe, the heat our bodies generate, the blood pulsing through our veins and arteries, the bones, all different sizes, constantly changing yet strong, and finally, spirit, that intangible and unmeasurable difference between being alive and being dead. All is nature. So, follow me now. Breathe in and out. Air. Breathe in, breathe out, and feel your own warmth. Fire. Breathe in, breathe out, and feel your pulse, your blood circulating. Water. Breathe in, breathe out, and look at your hands, made up of so many minerals, your bones, earth. And finally, breathe in, breathe out, and know you are alive. Spirit. We are sacred nature. We are one with Gaia, our mother. We are hers and she is ours. We have only to stop and marvel at our own selves to feel her close. And with that, I will say, blessed be.
Blessed be all. The next piece is going to be involved with no human voices at all, just the voices of nature. These are from bird songs that I've recorded out of my front window, and I've also combined this with synthesizer and a little fretless guitar. So just kind of sit back, relax, and imagine you're out in the middle of a wooded glade just listening to the sounds of nature. be. And now we'll go to Marin for an earth medicine poem.
Thank you, Steve. Reverend Judith couldn't be with us tonight as she has lost her voice due to illness. So in her place, I will read these words she would have shared this evening for her. Tonight's full moon is in the sign of Capricorn, which brings in the energies of sacred nature, helping us to stay grounded and true to ourselves. After the extremely transformative passage in history and time that we have just gone through, we are at a turning point as we move into the second half of 2025. Whatever experiences have unfolded, may they have brought us into a higher consciousness and awareness of the kindness needed here on our precious Mother Earth. Amidst all that is crumbling, there are indeed seeds of love taking root, slowly unfurling within us, and it is our task to keep faith with the rich soil of our earth, our bodies, and our rituals, so that we can fortify our resolve and strengthen our personal channels of loving light. It is important that each of us keep our vibrations and energy as high and clear as possible, and we may send our prayers of love out into the sacred nature all around us, and put our energies into that which is for the highest and best good of all plants, animals, humans, and the spirits that are always with us here on our sacred Mother Earth. This is a poem by Jamie Sams from her book, Earth Medicine. Earth Mother, teach me of my kin, of hawk and dove and flower, of blinding sunlight, shady knoll, desert wind, and morning showers. Teach me every language of the creatures that sing to me, that I may count the cadence of infinite lessons in harmony. Teach me how to honor the sacred spaces of all, gently melding with the whole, answering the whippoorwill's call. Steamy tropics to glacial ice to thundering ocean tides, in every grain of desert sands, your beauty forever abides. O Mother of every kingdom, let me claim my family's love, from the whales of the deepest oceans to the winged ones high above. Expand my limited vision until I can truly know the missions of all my relations and the blessings they bestow. So mote it be. Dennis will now talk about nature mindfulness.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dennis Carpenter, and I'm coming to you from my home that I share with my wife, Selena Fox, at Oak Haven, next door to Circle Sanctuary in southwestern Wisconsin. I'm sitting here in my office, and you're seeing my office behind me, but I'm looking out windows at the oak forest around me. So we're very fortunate to live in the woods. So what I'd like to do is talk about nature mindfulness, as well as reflect on some of the comments that you've heard already here tonight. So Dia started out tonight's full moon by making the point that in our day-to-day lives that we're often very disconnected from the natural world, the rest of the natural world that we're all a part of by the cities that we might live in, the buildings that we might live in, the computers that we're preoccupied with, all of the creations of our modern world that make life more comfortable for us, but ultimately separate us from nature. And it is very important to reconnect with the natural world that we're all a part of. And there's actually a fairly robust body of research around this idea of nature connectedness. and the many benefits that come our way if we're able to connect more deeply with nature, ranging from a host of physical and psychological kinds of benefits to also enhancing our own sense of environmental responsibility to try to save the natural world of which we're part. So this idea of nature connectedness is very important, especially for us living in this modern Western world that we do. Nancy also made the point that, well, what do you do if you're living in a city or in some other environment that is separating you from the beautiful woods that exist, or the bounty of nature that exists in more undisturbed places? Well, she's right in that nature does exist all around us, from the plants in our house, the creatures in our house, our own bodies, to the plants and the trees outside of our house and our lawns, along the streets, in the parks. So there's plenty of opportunities potentially to connect with nature no matter where you live. Maybe like Steve did, open your window and hear the bird sounds outside the window. Okay? Clearly, there are benefits to being able to get out into parks and broader nature kinds of environments. But probably more importantly is, how do we connect with nature? What does that mean in our modern context? So we could go out and be in a lovely park and be sitting with our devices, texting away or doom scrolling away, whatever we might do on our devices. And are we really connecting with the park when we're doing that? Probably not. We could also be in that beautiful park and also be totally preoccupied inwardly with problems that we're dealing with, problems we're trying to solve, you name it. Our minds are very good at thinking about things, analyzing things. So one of the aspects of nature mindfulness is that kind of goes back, Selena spoke of being in the eternal now. You know, Ram Dass back in the 60s said, be here now. And underlying mindfulness, meditative types of approaches is this idea of being in the present moment, experiencing the world around you, experiencing it almost like a child would, with a sense of curiosity and wonder and fascination with what's being experienced. So one aspect of this is to go into those natural environments, or that tree along the street, or the plants in your yard, whatever it might be, and experience that fully as if you're seeing it or experiencing it in some other way for the first time. Okay? Other aspects of mindfulness practice can help us deal with that internal mental chatter, for example, so that we can be more fully here now, more fully present, and able to connect with nature. So object-focused types of meditative practices, where you might focus on a particular tree or a leaf in that tree or some other very specific aspect of nature around you, letting that focus shift when it needs to, but keeping your focus there on that object in nature. And when your mind wanders away, gently bringing it back to that focus on nature around you. Or you might take a broader kind of open awareness kind of approach, where You're taking it all in, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the tastes, the bodily sensations, like Selena described earlier in her meditation. All right. The important point is being here now in nature, experiencing nature fully, being present in nature, deeply connecting with nature. And that's where the benefits come to us personally, as well as go back out to nature generally in terms of our enhancing our own well-being and enhancing our sense of sensitivity to the struggles that the natural world is experiencing right now, and deepening our commitment to preserve the beauty and wonder of the rest of the natural world that we're blessed to be a part of. Thank you. And now I welcome Selena back for some additional inspiration.
Thank you, Dennis. Every month as we do our full moon circle, we include a time for healing. And I invite you in the next few moments to journey with me for some self-healing through gratitude, through the elements of nature. We call to the sacred earth. And as you focus your awareness for the sacred earth, call to mind the place where you are right now, the spirit of that place, of that land, the powers of sacred earth, the rocks and the soil and the sands, the hills, the mountains, the caves. Connect with sacred earth and appreciate the power and the magic of sacred earth. Experience your body being blessed as you give gratitude for the sacred earth. And we call to mind the sacred air, not only the air that we breathe, but the atmosphere, breezes and winds. Knowing the importance of the in and out breath as part of life, not only for ourselves, but for others. Give gratitude to the sacred air that's essential for life. And as you connect with the sacred air, let that blessing flow through your thoughts, your thinking. Wind and breezes, the sacred breath, clearing away what does not serve, and letting gratitude for air bring a blessing to ourselves and our intellect, our cognitions. And we connect with sacred fire, not only in the form of candle flame, but electricity, lightning flash, hearth fire, energy in many forms. Have gratitude for the life force that flows through all kinds of living things. bee balm in bloom. Sometimes this full moon is called the berry moon, the buck moon, or the bee balm moon. Feel that life force that's part of fire and give thanks to that. And as you do, experience a blessing on your own life force, your will, your ability to move, to create, to have stamina and vitality. Blessings of the sacred fire as we give thanks for sacred fire. And with water, salt water of our oceans and seas, fresh water of springs and ponds and wells and creeks and rivers, brackish water as the salt and the fresh interconnect at salt flats and other parts of the world. Water, sacred water, let us give thanks to the sacred water that is such an important part of planet Earth, our home. Water that is part of our own bodies, the blood and fluids that we have within us. And as we give thanks to the sacred water, let a blessing flow into us, blessing our feelings, our relationships, our intuitions, our ways of having emotional well-being. May that gratitude of sacred water dispel what is not needed and bring blessings to us. Sacred Spirit, the interconnectedness of earth and air and fire and water. Sacred Spirit, great mystery, interconnecting the biosphere, interconnecting nature in cosmos. Let our gratitude for Sacred Spirit also bring blessing to ourselves, our souls, our spiritual life. Pentacle of elements, sacred earth, sacred air, sacred fire, sacred water, sacred spirit, and the sacred circle that connects the points of the pinnacle together. Ourselves being part of community, part of the circle of nature. Let us give thanks, not only for our relationships with other humans alive and our ancestors and those who've gone before and those who are yet to come, but let us give thanks to being part of this diverse community of life, the natural world here on planet Earth, wherever we may be, giving thanks for plants and creatures and all the elementals, and the divine is one and many, and this being the full moon, special thanks and appreciation for the full moon. Gratitude attitude as we link in with nature and its elements can bring blessings to us, not only at this full moon circle we're doing now, but in our daily lives. So blessed be the elements of nature and the circle of nature of which we are all part. And we move into a time of healing for others. And let us spend some time calling to mind those in need in various areas, not only in the US, but other parts of the world, where there are those with healing needs. In particular, those who are dealing with the impact of natural disasters. Let there be healing, support, prayers of connectedness, of learning, of compassion flowing to those in need, those who have been injured, those who have lost loved ones, and let our healing for these areas devastated by flooding and wildfires and other types of natural disasters and human created warfare and other dynamics. Let love flow from our circle into those places. I invite Nomeo, Chris the Bard, to join us now. And as he plays the flute, I invite you to call to mind those who are in need so that healing goes to them. Healing to all in need, healing and wellness to planet Earth. So be it. And I give thanks to all who have joined us as we prepare to say farewell to our circle.
So let us thank the elements that have brought us the glories of summer. First of all, to our providing earth, giving us all. To our waters that we are made mostly of, and the cooling rain and the warm oceans and lakes. To the fire of the sun and the fire of the bonfires. To the warm air that envelops us in this summer. And to spirit, and to the earth. We release this circle. Blessed be.
Blessed be, so mote it be. Thank you all for celebrating our Sacred Nature Full Moon Circle. Thank you to all of our presenters, and thank you to you for joining us tonight. We now will turn to Steve and ask where you guys are. What are the places that people tuned in from?
Yes, and I have been collecting a little map of where you all are tuning in from that I can share with you now. So as you can see, it's quite a variety of coast to coast and the middle as well. So blessed be.
And Richard will round us up with our circle membership and donations pitch.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us for this virtual full moon circle. Please join us again on Saturday, August the 9th for our Plant Allies Full Moon Circle broadcast. I'm Richard, and I give thanks to all of our wonderful Circle Sanctuary volunteers on this broadcast tonight. Chris, Dia, Melissa, Steve, me, Richard, Amy, Marin, Nancy, Dennis, and of course, Circle Sanctuary's founder and senior minister, Selena Fox. Thank you all. If you would like to be a presenter on one of our monthly Full Moon Circle broadcasts, please email circlesanctuary.org and put Full Moon Circle in the subject line. It's fun. We hope to see you in person for our Volunteer Day this Saturday, July 12th, or at the Green Spirit celebration the weekend of August 1st through the 3rd, or for our Sacred Fire Circle over Labor Day weekend. Please register for them on our website soon. And please consider joining the Circle community by becoming a member or support us with your donations. We offer a wealth of nature spirituality information on our website, where you can also find links to our weekly Circle podcast. And check out our extensive archives on Circle Sanctuary's YouTube channel. Wishing you all bright full moon blessings.